How we doing, brothers? Welcome back to another Stream AT video, where all across the crypto board, whilst we're in a bear market, there's loads of rising wedges and bearish flag patterns, bear flags, rising wedges. Like we can see here on Bitcoin, another rising wedge we'll expect to break to the downside. We've got Solana in this rising wedge, which I would expect to break to the downside, even though Solana's already down about 70% already. I think we've got a lot lower to go. We see this rising wedge in play. Ethereum, another rising wedge. Again, like we see from the peak in October, nearly 5,000 come down. Bear flag come down. Rising wedge, I would expect to break lower. Similar to this, we've got stablecoin dominance and a bull flag pattern, which when we go up, I'd expect to be in here and then break to the upside. Maybe not that high. So then we've got the total crypto market cap and a bear flag. We come down, bear flag, come down, another bear flag. I'm expecting lower. Again, Bitcoin just had its 4-year high back in 2025, like we've seen in 2013, 2017, 2021, 2025, and then we get the 4-year low 2014, 2018, 2022. I'm expecting it this year, 2026. Again, Bitcoin compared to its 2022 fractal following fairly similar. As you can see from the 2021 high to 2022 low, you can see we come down and we've got these different bearish patterns. Again, like we see, 2021 high, you come down, bearish pattern breakdown, bear flag breakdown, bear flag breakdown. Eventually we form a bottom after about a year of a bear market on Bitcoin. So from about the October high in 2025, potentially October of 2026 would be the bottom. We come down with bear flag, come down, bear flag. And if we compare that to the last cycle, we've only had 2 bearish patterns there. Well, 3 there, we had 2 here. I think there's a long way to go in this bear market. Again, this 4-year low I'm expecting. We compare the 2 fractals, falling pretty similarly. Again, we're under the bull market support band. The 50 EMA and the 50 SMA on the weekly time frame in the orange and yellow here, we can see we get below. And when we get below, we enter a bear market. Like in 2018, like in 2022, and we're under it already. And it's when we get that trendline break, I would be confident to re-enter the market, like we see here in March of 2019, like we see here in January of 2023, and like I'm looking for in here. Again, we've got a CME gap at 80k still open, 81k, which since the price got to about 60k on Bitcoin, which is why this Bitcoin, it looks like a bear flag. Well, it is a bear flag. This pattern here, we come down with bear flag, we come down with bear flag. And what we can see is this duration of the bear flag takes a long time to play out. So the bear flag would last 2 months, the bear flag would last 50 odd days. But what we can see is the impulse down where Bitcoin loses 30% happens in a couple of weeks. So we take the time of forming the pattern, takes a while to play out, but the moves are pretty impulsive, which is why I'm expecting a pretty impulsive move fairly soon. As I said, see me give at 80k, we might drop to 80k on Bitcoin first before rolling over. That'll be another bull trap to get people sucked into the market, think that we've bottomed. Loads of people think we're bottoming in here, even though Bitcoin is very bearish. If we look at chart patterns, we've got the S&P 500, looks like it's topped for this year, for this 4-year cycle, and I believe we're rolling over here. The total free again, this bearish pattern in play. So I expect lower on the total free. And before we get into the rest of this video, if we go back to Solana chart. So yeah, in my last video, I was talking about, well, a few videos ago, I was talking about a Discord group that I'm setting up. And whilst that's in progress, I've opened a Telegram channel, which this is the link to join. The link is in the bio. 6 people have joined from my last video when I shared it. So if you are interested in being one of the first ones in the Discord, I don't want too many people in the Discord, so if you join the Telegram channel, that is where you'll find it first. I'll be posting a few charts here and there. I posted one the other day about Bitcoin. I posted one today about Solana, which I've covered in this video. And I'll keep posting charts in there. I'll post links to the YouTube videos, and when my Discord comes out, you'll be the first to be notified in there. And as I said, I don't want too many in the Discord, so there'll be limited spaces. So jump in here First, link will be in the bio. And before I get into the rest of the video and cover all the charts in more detail, if you're new here, just hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, and for everyone else, if you're enjoying the content so far, smash that like button and let's get into the rest of the video. Here's the real problem in the market is everyone's saying the bottom's in because Bitcoin has been grinding up since the start of February, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, from Bitcoin being at 60k, Bitcoin's rallied so far about 30% up to about 75k, and that's over the span of 35 days, about 5 weeks or so in the market. Let's say 50 days, yeah. So everyone's starting to say we're bottomed, but in reality, if you actually look at a chart pattern, this isn't even advanced technical analysis. This is simple, basic. But the problem is too many people are emotional and all they want is the bottom to be in. And they make loads of different narratives. Oh, Bitcoin crashed because of the war with Iran and whatever, blah, 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 blah. There's always narratives. But technical analysis in the chart, the price will tell you everything. It'll tell you what's going on without you needing to watch the news. And this looks clear as day as a bear pattern. This looks clear as day as a bear pattern. Come down, bear flag, come down, bear flag, come down, bear flag, come down. That is what I'm expecting in here. And then when Bitcoin makes that impulsive move down, everyone's going to start making another narrative up. But in reality, if you zoom out, it's the 4-year cycles on Bitcoin. 2021 high, 4-year cycle low, 2025 high, 4-year cycle low. And it's just simple chart patterns like we've seen last cycle. 3 times we've seen it before we eventually got a bottom and we broke the trend line from the 2021 high to the bear market lows. And right now, Bitcoin is clearly in a downtrend. It's rejected there, rejected here. And it takes about 5 attempts to break through these massive downtrends in a bear market, roughly. And again, they last about 1 year. And as I keep going on about price capitulation and time capitulation, they're 2 different things. It would be too easy if Bitcoin just went from 129k, well 126k it was, and just crashed down 80%, like we've seen the last 3 other bear markets. The first bear market down 83%, second bear market down 83%, the third bear market down 77%. Now, if that was to happen in a week, everyone's just going to buy the bottom. But they make it tricky. The market makers make it tricky. They have price capitulation when the price goes down, and they make it time capitulation when people get bored and they think the market is never going to return. And they also, the time capitulation allows them to grind the price up to get bulls back in, just for them to have that impulse down. And when they have that impulse down is when all the bulls get trapped. They get trapped up here, and if they're in leverage, they get liquidated. Simple. Anyway, back to what we were saying. Solana, this rising wedge, bearish. And the problem with this is Solana is the 7th biggest crypto. And if we go by altcoins, Bitcoin's not an altcoin, Ethereum's an altcoin, XRP's an altcoin, BNB's an altcoin. That's a stable coin. That's a stable coin. That's when I'm doing stablecoin analysis. It's on Tether, USDT, and USDC. So Solana is technically the 4th biggest altcoin. As you can see, Solana market cap is massive. And if Solana is putting in this bearish pattern, think about the rest of the altcoins. This is why I'm no longer in the market. I'm sidelined, waiting for lower prices, because I think Bitcoin's going lower due to technical analysis, due to the 4-year cycles. I now think Solana's going lower due to the price action in the charts. We lost this massive support at $125. Yes, we got below it in the tariff spill. We come rising back up. Then we had this massive area in here. We lose it, we come down, and now we're bear flagging in here, in this area, which I'm expecting at some point to break to the downside. And could Solana get to about $30 in this bear market? Potentially. Then I'll look to load up. Imagine I buy Solana now and it goes down. If we go down to 30, another 70% move. Yes, we're already down 70%, but if we go down another 70%, I don't want to be the one buying in here. Bitcoin's different. Yes, I think Bitcoin's going lower, but I believe in Bitcoin long term. And actually, I do think Solana long term's good, but Solana's not got an infinite amount of supply. Like, there's only 21 million Bitcoin, there won't ever be more. Solana doesn't have that cap supply. They can print more Solana. Ethereum, another rising wedge. Again, key support at 1.5k. We're currently at 2.1k. Again, it just looks simple. From the October high when we got that massive liquidation, we come down, bear flag, come down, rising wedge. And I think this is going to repeat, and I think we're at least going to get to 1.5k. If not, minus, like, under $1,000, I think is very much possible for Ethereum. And yeah, so again, I'm bearish on Bitcoin because it's in a bear flag. I'm bearish on Solana because it's in a rising wedge. I'm bearish on Ethereum because it's in a rising wedge. And to just cap it all off, we've got stablecoin dominance, which when stablecoin dominance goes up, that means people are taking the money out the market, putting in stablecoins, which means they're risk off. And that is what we're seeing. We're seeing a bullish pattern. So up here is risk off. And down the bottom is risk on. So when stablecoin dominance comes down, it's euphoria in the market. Let's just say bull market. Up the top is when there's pain in the market, bear market. And again, as I said, I'm expecting this to rise to the upside. Like we've seen in the 2022 bear market, we got up to about 16%. But then when we had the altcoin local highs, a bit of euphoria in the market, March of 2024 and Q4 of 2024 were about 5%. So again, like when we had pain in the market, August of 2024, we had Japan market problems. And that's when we got rejected off this area at about 8.7%. Again, April, that was the tariff problems. Again, rejected off this area and came lower. And we got rejected when we had the 19.6 billion liquidations in here in October. And that started to grind up from altcoins. And the key area for me was when, like we've seen the support here, when then flip it into resistance, and this area had to hold, but it didn't hold. We broke through, and that was the start of February. Another key indication for me that we're well and truly in a bear market, and that is ultimately why I'm risk off in the market. There's loads of things telling me that. Now this is just my technical analysis. You completely disagree with me. You can completely read the market in a different light. That's completely fine by me. I'm just giving my 2 pence on the market. If you like it, subscribe, like the video, blah, 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 blah. If you hate it, tell me in the comments, tell me I don't have a clue, and don't watch another video. Simple. I'm documenting my journey in crypto, giving my thoughts on the market, and that's all this channel is. I am by no means an expert. Again, total crypto market cap, the whole crypto market cap in a bear flag. Similar to Bitcoin, looks very bearish, and I expect this to go lower. And that ties in with the 4-year cycle. And then we continue to kind of not completely follow the 2022 fractal, but we are following fairly similar. And that's just taking this price action and overlaying it here. And that is what we can see on the screen at the minute. And we are below the bull market support band. So yeah, the only thing I'm holding on for is if we're going to fill this CME gap, which means Bitcoin would go up to 81k before rolling over. And again, with the stock market rolling over, I think that tells us all we need to know. And then the total free bearish. So basically for me, if I've not made it clear enough, I'm bearish, I'm risk off, I'm out the market, I'm waiting for lower prices. Yet most people are calling the bottom. But it is what it is. That is all I've got to say on the market at the minute.